겉보기엔 평범한 술집인 이곳의 벽 뒤에는 유럽에서 가장 이상한 예술가들의 비밀 아지트가 숨겨져 있습니다. 공연장 같기도 영화관 같기도 한 이곳에서는 매일 밤 정체를 규정하기 어려운 실험들이 펼쳐집니다. 이곳을 거쳐간 예술가들은 수백 수천 명. 석촌호수에 로버덕을 띄운 사람 역시 이곳을 거쳤죠. 누가 와도 평범해지는 곳, 나이도 성별도 국적도 상관없는 곳. 그 비밀의 벽 뒤에는 대체 무엇이 있는 걸까요? 그리고 무엇보다 이곳은 대체 어떻게 돈을 벌고 25년째 유지될 수 있었던 걸까요? 유럽 최대의 대한예술 집단 WORM의 이야기입니다.
WORM was made, established 25 years ago.
Long story. Great. It is good.
In a second.
Yes,
We'll be back.
we'll be back.
Okay, so this is our offices.
와우.
So what we have at WORM is we have concerts, bars, sound studio, radio, film werkplaats, which is film developing. It's all one living, breathing thing. Richard told me that there is nothing like this in Europe. That WORM is the only cultural center that combines all the disciplines and many other things like radio and sound studio and like 10,000 other things together.
Never seen something like this before.
Me neither before I came here.
Originally, it started as a formation between 3 or 4 different organisations. One called WORM의, which is like an underground music and arts centre. The film werkplaats, which is all the analogue film studios you see behind, which is now there. The cult video take, we can see some of the old original videos are there as well. 1999, 2000, they formed it to become WORM.
Majority of people who work here are also artists. So they have their own practice and then WORM. For example, all the Wunderbar colleagues, all of them are artists. 90% of them. I'll show you.
Okay. Okay.
Because this is part of the Wunderbar, we also host events in this space.
Whoa! Damn.
And really the ethos of WORM is to make something from nothing, which is like, you know, it's self-evident. For example, the bar was built in 10 years ago, 15 years ago. The bar cost €5,000 in total and was just from scrap wood we found in the outside of Rotterdam centre. The lights in the bar are from Schönefeld Airport in Berlin. Just weird stuff like that. There's a story behind every little gadget and gizmo you see in WORM.
This is Camille. He helps with Porca and also he's a musician, right? As I told you, majority are artists.
Those are keys that were lost and found here.
Lost.
So this is
Monumental.
Key towers.
There's even like some of car keys.
who is he? Why
He was asking if that's Kim Jong-un.
This is our sound studio.
Wow. Is this also for like sound artists or musicians?
Yeah, we have residencies here, or you can just book this. Yeah, it's all synthesizers, and some of them come in one of a kind.
So we are there for people who are unsure of themselves, I think. This is a place where people can come together and just do their thing, you know.
Just open space.
They can have a beer and then look at this place and think, what the fuck is this? And then think, all right, I can go in here. Oh, that's a radio. Oh, there's a gigs. You know, it's like there's stuff to do. And then maybe they can find their own way of expressing themselves, you know. That's what we want to do.
Can you put it in, somebody? Yeah. I cannot really play this thing, so...
Yeah.
Who can?
Our hands.
Have you never seen a theremin?
Never.
Okay, but some people can make
Sound.
yes, but I can only do woo, you know. It is actually from the 70s. It's an American machine, and it's made to entertain your guests. So it would be very easy to play it. So you have all these records, and they have optical sound.
Optical sound.
Yeah.
It's not digital?
Everything is analog here.
Yeah.
Boy, you know, I am from the times when people didn't have an iPhone. You don't know that. And the nice thing is that all the records have a different genre. like. So that's nice, but then warmed up.
Very easy to entertain people.
But you can also play the other side. And then it sounds like this. Anyway, this is a fun machine. Dit was de Optigan.
Thank you, Lucas.
Yeah. I mean, so do you know why the name is WORM? Like the origin
Yeah,
of
there's. It was just an intuitive name. It's not an abbreviation of anything. It just came up as someone said, "WORM, why not?" But also, at some point, somebody was saying, "Yeah, we can have this philosophy behind the word, as that we are digging in the underground, and that we come up with interesting things that." People have to be introduced to, and what a worm does, it's digging, feeding, and also shitting. So dig, feed, shit. We dropped it in the end, but that was connecting to the idea of the worm. Yeah.
I love that phrase. Maybe we need to kind of integrate that to ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dig, feed, shit. You can use it. We don't. We don't use it anymore.
Feed shit.
Yeah.
You have to waste to create. Like, you don't do anything without it. It's a terrible kind of neoliberal idea that, we can't waste it. Yes, you have to waste it, otherwise it's no good. Good paintings means scraped off paint, People are far too interested in everything having an answer, which is just bullshit. It's just lies, you can't do that. Well, WORM is about worst value, but best result. There's a big difference. Waste is good. So
I think it's Gilbert now inside. It's a community radio, so you can apply and get a show and just come and play with that.
So it's kind of open to anyone.
I mean, ideally, yeah.
Yeah.
We have a radio event. It's called 25 Hours Radio Relay, exactly this one. You can apply with your live performance, and then it's live streamed for 25 hours. And people also, in the black box that we're gonna go into, they sleep there. That was all the participants of those 25 hours last year.
Wow.
Like, that's a lot of people.
25 hours.
Yeah. This also was made by Rotterdam artist. Someone big, I don't remember the name.
What the hell?
This is our main stage. We host club nights here, concerts, film screenings.
It's like I'm in a spaceship or something.
Yeah, I really like this.
It's endless. Wow. Hello.
Okay. We work with sound and design and radio as well. You can ask Liam many questions. Would you like to be on camera?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah?
I have this very interesting instrument. This is Shruti Box. It makes tones, combinations of tones for meditation and prayer. Wow. So what I do is make a combination of certain tones, and it sounds like. I'm going to make my radio program, and my program is called the Sound Experience. So it is not real music, but it is more a combination of all kinds of sounds back to the origin of music. And this is also, let you say, talent development, but without being an educator, because we believe that people have to do it themselves. So we give you the possibility, we give you the key. On the end of the day, you have to do it yourself. You have to make your own plan, your own stamina to continue what you are doing.
Then what do you think is the most important thing to make this kind of like organization empowering everyone?
Have no judgment. My friend Hussein, he's a Muslim, I'm a Christian. Who cares? We work together. Of course we have discussions sometimes, but then we look each other in the eye and we say, thank you, brother. Because that is the most important thing. We can have discussions about everything, but respect each other, always.
We're kind of a magnet for people who want to find something different. That's the reason we exist. And we're not into hype. So we've had also people like Mabi Frate, the artist, the musician, Hanan Meinsma, the photographer. We have a lot of people who are involved with the plastic and filmic arts and also a lot of performance arts that then go on to do something else.
Yeah. Even though it is a non-profit, you still have to have a sustainable model to make it work.
Yeah.
And kind of extend that dreams or intentions into reality.
I think it is a case of juggling, you know. So you have government funding, we have independent partners who come in sometimes to work here, and we're very good robbers, you know. But like, if you want anything to be successful in creative, or if you want to win at things, right, you've got to be a bit of a robber in the nicest and most generous possible way. You don't have to say to people, well, I'm going to use this money for this, and you kind of don't. But then you make something better. If I was as a business model, it'd probably be like Gaudi's Cathedral in Barcelona that's never finished and it keeps having bits on it. That would be the literal maquette of it. Of course, we know the worth of it is in the people who come who take something away and then use it somewhere else. The previous people who worked at WORM now work in different venues around Rotterdam and the country. I know someone who works in the British Museum. There's loads of instances where young people have come here and then found a way through somewhere else due to the sort of the beehive of WORM, if you will, you know?
I think it's really key to keep in touch with them, even after
You have to,
they leave.
yeah. No, I always do. It's really nice to hear from people who were like very unsure 20-somethings 10 years ago. Now they're doing all right, you know. A couple of old interns have won art prizes, done very well internationally. But then, you know, I also learn from them and I also get a lot from them. That's the important thing, to find out people who originally came from Siberia, who now is an international artist, or someone who came from Leicester, who is now, you know, working in a high office in London, etc., etc. It's just nice to see, you know, and that's what should happen in an organisation.
It feels like it's like Silicon Valley art version.
Yeah, I suppose so. I kind of, it's like it's massive studios, you know? I think it's more like one of these old kind of Hollywood studios. That, like, they're behind the scenes, it looks absolute. Have you ever seen those things? If you look behind them, they look terrible. But then on screen, it looks like the world, you know? So I personally, I'd say it's more an illusion, and it allows things to happen. But you know, illusions are in people's heads. You know, one thing I've learned over my 55 years on this planet is whatever's in people's heads is far more important than what's actually in front of them. Sadly, but that's the truth of it. You know, WORM exists in people's heads.
True.
It's really important to remember that, and actually what exists in your head, and keeping things positive and realising how you can be generous with those things around your groups and whatever your networks is. That's what makes something really happen.
And what do you think, like, the biggest insecurity those artists have? Because I
Insecurity.
because I think that's why a lot of artists from all over the world are trying to like be in WORM.
Yeah, they are.
Part of.
I think it's one of the very few places that allows people just to get on with things without any judgment, you know, without any timeline really. Just creating things in a way that you'd want to create stuff. You know, we've had some famous people in here and none of us really give a shit.
Just the same.
It's just like, you know, as long as you're not an idiot, you know, like, no one's really bothered. We don't treat them in any particular way any different. We just let people get on with it. I think that's what it is.
That's the key.
Yeah.
As long as you have the same, I guess, creative goal, then regardless of your religion, race, or...
I don't think it ever comes up.
Yeah.
Division is essentially ego. By maintaining an essentially egoless position, it does allow, you know, it allows people to come together and realise that sometimes one person's right, one person's wrong, or that there is common ground. And that is really important. I think we're the biggest bunch of individuals I've ever met. Sometimes, you know, like, what the hell are you talking about with each other? But that, at the same time, it's not really something that it wouldn't hinder our work. Allowing each other space to say, okay, you know, I think you're wrong, but get on with it. You know, one thing very important to remember about WORM, right? When he said the community, immediately in my little WORM brain, I'm going, what do you mean by that word? People use these too many words. There's so many labels being thrown around at present. And some people, especially young people, kind of think, well, who am I? Where do I fit? What do I do? Do I need to fit, you know? And that's much more interesting.
It's quite interesting because you do it by undoing it.
that's more important to allow other people to come in. You know, it's like this kind of interface.
Since you do it as a first mover, you always take risks.
Yeah.
You keep doing things that are different, that are not
Yeah.
trends, that are not classics, but different. How do you keep moving forward even though you feel scared, insecure? How do you keep pushing yourself?
You know, we don't always know what we're doing. That's a great tip in life, like the idea that you've got to plan things. It's best if you don't know. The first step, you shouldn't know. If you have a society where everything has an answer, you basically might as well shut down society, because you're just going to be in a position where everything's pre-planned. You know, it's like that's dystopian, and things have to go wrong. And I think it's really important that people have a bit more confidence in themselves and saying, I fucked up, or this didn't work, or like someone else took the idea and made a much better idea than me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's because the way that they're so driven by technology that they think they have to think like Instagram or Excel sheet. You don't. And what we think, you know, mostly it's pretty much unspoken, it just gets on in it. But that is how you should work in life in general. To kind of answer your question, how do we keep going? We just think, oh, that's all right, that's interesting. Oh, I've heard this, you know. Things just pop out of the ground. People are amazing. You know, being in the world is amazing, actually.